Imagine doubling your sales, not by charging more, but by giving something away for nothing. Every supermarket, every successful chain, every booming local business has a secret weapon, and it's a 4-letter long word. FREE, or free. Free products sell paid products, and paid products fund free products. It's a cycle that turns generosity into profit. You've been taught to protect your prices, but the fastest way to grow a local business is actually to give away what others are charging for. Most businesses fear giving you too much away. The clever ones know that's how you win. There's a reason the word free makes people line up outside shops, crash websites, and tell their friends. Today, I'm going to show you how to use free in your local business. Okay. The most powerful sales strategy doesn't start with money, it starts with free. Let's look at how giving something away for nothing can make you more money than selling it. By the end of this day, you're going to know exactly how. When you hear free, reach for your wallet. Who's heard that before? Let me get a drink because just started talking. My voice has started kicking off. When you hear free, reach for your wallet. Who's heard that? In fact, you know what? I probably made it up. So you might not have heard it before. I might not have stole it. It might be mine. The point of today is for me to spark a fire in you where it inspires you to find a way to use free to make money in your business. Okay? I would say that free is the cheapest form of advertising. In fact, I would say that free is the most effective form of advertising. And I would say that free is the most profitable form of advertising. How much do the products we use every single day cost? Think about it. I look at my setup right here, right? How much does the internet cost? Right. So you pay for a fast connection, but the internet's actually free. How much does Google cost? It's free for everyone. How much does Chrome or Firefox cost? Sorry, I'm just looking at my computer. They're free for everyone. How much does Google Docs cost? Google Docs is actually a good one. Google give you everything you need to run a business online, and all it costs you is your information, which then make money from. Google has the best lead magnets on the planet. Okay, so what are lead magnets? Who knows? In fact, let me know in the chat. Who knows what a lead magnet is? I'll wait for an answer. Get another drink of water. It's something your business can use to attract your ideal customer, says Frank. Really, really good. It's a free gift designed to get your ideal customer to pay attention. Couldn't have put it better myself. Who knows? Let's do some questions then. Who knows what Jello in the US or jelly is? Yes, we all know, don't we? Most people who grew up in the 80s and 90s know. I don't know if it's as popular anymore because I'm not a kid. Okay, but that product took years to become popular. They sold it in powder form and it was tasteless. They tried everything to sell it but couldn't. How did they get rid of it? Does anyone know the answer? No checking ChatGPT to find out. Free recipe books. Yes, Steve, spot on. Free recipe books, right? So they knocked on doors and gave millions of free Jello-filled recipe books away. They then warned the shops of an incoming stampede for the product, and sales exploded. Absolute brilliant lead magnet. Gillette gave away handles for almost free and made a fortune selling the replacement razor blades. Okay, companies, let's have a think of another one. Companies give away free phones and sell you calls at a 2-year fixed rate, yeah? Game companies make the consoles cheap and sell the games at a high price. So you can afford a console, but what's the use without the games? The console becomes a lead magnet you actually paid for. Okay, so I know another one. Companies install these big fancy coffee machines in office blocks and they service them for free. They make a fortune selling you the expensive coffee. Now, I know people actually who install vending machines in businesses for free, and they raise the price of the food that comes out of those vending machines. In fact, one of my mates does 4 figures a month per machine, and he's got 8 machines. Literally, he has a guy that just drives around filling them up. That's it. Business runs. TV and radio to watch. Yeah, free to watch, should I say. Then they sell ad space. The TV and the radio are actually the lead magnet. Musicians, when they realized that their music was being stolen online, what did they do? They give it away for free and gain more fans. Companies like Spotify now pay people millions, okay, musicians, based on their popularity, and touring is fueled by free online music, which is free to listen to. Yes? We all getting this? See what I'm talking about where free's everywhere? Okay, what used to cost me 50 grand a year ago. Sorry, I'm reading the screen, but it don't make sense. What cost me 50k a year ago to develop? Right. I'm just going to talk. So what it was supposed to say, I think I've just misspelled it on the screen. What used to cost me 50 grand a year ago to develop, okay, I can do it online today for free for less than a grand. And I can't even code. So while the cost of everything in the real world is going up, yeah, so cars, houses, rent, cost of living, absolutely everything, food, all going up through the roof. The cost of everything digital is dropping at an incrementally fast rate, yeah? Is that the right word? Is it incredibly fast rate? It's rapid, it's dropping super fast. Most software companies develop free software tools to give to the right people for free and then sell them their core offer, or they give them a free software and then upsell them inside the product. YouTube actually is free, but with ads, it costs. They gave YouTube away free for years before they figured this out. Same with most music streaming services. In fact, Google, again, we talked about a minute ago, offers 1,000 free softwares and tools, but you need a Gmail email to access most of them. And they get what? Your data, and they make money from it. Yes? Search is free to everyone, but the clicks are expensive, especially for the top results. I know that because I used to run a locksmith company and we'd pay 15 to 20 quid a click at the top of Google. Ridiculous. Search is free for everyone. People search, they get paid. Okay? So free exists everywhere, but we don't see it because we're not looking. So free builds empires, okay? And most small businesses like yours are missing out. Buy one, get one free is a great way of saying 50% off when you buy two. But that's not how we say it. Why? Because free gets people's attentions. Why is try before you buy always sold as a free trial? Because free gets attention. Yeah? Free air at petrol stations. I filled my tires up the other day and it was free, right? Free air at petrol stations attracts the ideal customer to the fuel pumps. Yeah? I pulled in, put air in my tires, pulled up, put fuel in my car. We now live in a world where advertisers pay and consumers receive almost everything for free. Streaming services say free with ads or premium without. But the big question is, why is everything now free? In fact, let's just think about something here, right? If governments wanted to, so the high street's dead, yes? Do you all agree with that? Like town centres are all dying everywhere, except the really big major cities. If governments want to get people to return to town centres, what could they do? I know what I'd do. I'd give free public transport into town for everyone forever, paid for by the taxes that we already pay. And since you're in the town centre spending, we pay more taxes because everything is taxed. Manchester, UK actually now offers almost free travel on its tram system. Why? Because it brings people into the town where they spend money and everything is taxed. It works to generate more taxes. Plus, all the businesses are paying tax on everything they sell. Plus, all the customers are paying tax on everything they buy, and so on and so forth, and everything. So it pays for us to be. It pays for the company to be out buying from places, especially UK-based places, not online, buying from businesses that are based in all over the world or that's just selling straight into Amazon. The next big airline might offer free flights to people staying in certain hotels, paid for by the hotels, which are paid for by the guests, but presented as free. Think about free flights if you stay in a 5-star hotel. Which 5-star hotel will always be booked up for months, even years? The one with the free flights from anywhere. Do you agree? Why? Because even though the hotel's expensive, but the flights are free, people are like, yeah, but I've just got free travel, free airplanes, free flights. A timeshare. You know what a timeshare is? A timeshare is a free holiday, but they make an absolute fortune on it. That makes sense? Right, so have you ever looked at the world through free? Let me know in the chat. It's fascinating. It is fascinating. I totally agree. And everyone, and I mean everyone, is doing it. At least all the ones making money. I spoke to a friend this week, right? Brilliant local SEO he is. He built an entire enterprise level software platform and gave it away for free because his ideal customers need it to run their businesses. Now, I've talked to him the other day, spent 2 hours on a Teams meeting with him. I think that he's going to actually make more from that free tool than his core offer in the next few years. But that's another story. Free isn't free, okay? It's shifting money from place to place or giving now to receive much, much, much more later. Does that make sense? Yes? You understand that? Say that again. I don't know what I said. Oh, right. So free isn't free. It's shifting money from place to place or giving now to receive much, much more later. I think was exactly how I said it, or almost. Yes? Does that make sense? You're writing it down. Okay. Good for you, man. So it makes sense. There's no such thing as a free lunch. So let's think about this. Free newspapers paid for by advertisers, but really they're paid for by your time and attention and you buying from those advertisers. Free parking at Walmart is paid for by you spending money inside. Free samples are paid for by the buyers who reciprocate. Okay, Robert Cialdini there, by their free gift and buy. Yeah, there really is no such thing as a free lunch. Free isn't free. It's shifting money from place to place or giving now to receive much more later. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to memorize that. I've said it 3 times now. I'll try and throw it in a couple more times today so I don't forget it. Yeah. Phone companies sell calls and they are happy to give you a free phone to make sure you have to buy your calls from them. Does that make sense? Yes. The best way to use free. There's what you do for money. Think about this. There's what you do for money and there's what you can do for free so people will pay you to do what you do for money. You make one free thing free in order to sell another. Now, think about this. In fact, I do free webinars. This is a great example. I do free webinars where I share amazing business models. I'm going to say amazing, amazing, amazing business models for free. But usually using my product will make the result from that business model faster, easier, and simpler for you. Yes? In fact, every single person on here, okay, because we do not sell this training publicly, every single person on here has been on one of my free webinars and spent money with me. Now you spend the minimum of $199 a month with me for this training. But all this came from free. In fact, who remembers the old TV boxes? Do you remember them? The old digital TV boxes. Sorry, I didn't explain that right. And remember the digi boxes? You could add them to your TV. You could plug them in the back. Yes, yeah, the little digi boxes. Yeah, they eventually became what? Freeview boxes. Do you remember? Then they put them inside the TV, and the TVs became what? Freeview TVs. Why Freeview? Because you, me, and every other hot-blooded man, woman, and child on this planet loves a great deal. And even though there is no such thing as a free lunch, free is still the best deal you're ever going to get. In the internet marketing world, we call these gifts lead magnets because they suck the customer in. Okay, bigger companies, you'll hear them referring to them as lost leaders. Customers just call them free gifts. Yeah, when you understand how to use free in your business, you'll make more money than you ever thought possible. Okay, but this is a big fat rule I want to tell you here. Let me get another drink of water, guys. Never make your core offer free. It devalues your product and it reduces trust. We have to give something away that only our ideal customer will want. Picture this, right? Why would Bob the Builder want a free iPad? Let me know in the chat, actually. Why would Bob the Builder want a free iPad? You answer it. Because everyone wants a free iPad. Exactly. So would giving a free iPad away be good? No, it wouldn't be good. Why are you putting yes? Why would Bob the Builder want a free checklist on building SEO optimized web pages? Let me ask you that. He wouldn't, exactly. Only my ideal customer would. Yeah? Does that make sense? I'd be better off giving away a free checklist on building SEO optimized web pages than giving away a free iPad. I'd get probably thousands more people into a webinar giving away a free iPad because everyone wants a free iPad. But only my ideal customers are going to want a free checklist, and it's going to cost me nowhere near as much. Does that make sense? Best one I've seen recently, actually. I talked about it a minute ago. So it's from a real business. In fact, I'll do it as a question. Why would lead sales, let's call them lead sales experts, rank and rent experts, lead sales experts want a free call tracker? Because they can't run their business without one. And what else do they need? They need a way to build amazing websites that rank really, really fast and generate leads. Now, this is a premium offer, right? The way to build websites that rank really, really fast and generate leads is a premium offer from a company called Xagio, spelled Xagio. Yeah? They give their ideal customer an essential, I say essential for anyone who wants to build a rank and rent business or a lead sales business. They give their ideal customer an essential call tracker. They need to run their business, which builds trust. And then they sell them their money maker, their core offer, which is Xagio. Makes sense? Yes, we're understanding how this is working. Drumming it in and drumming it in and drumming it in. If you feel like I'm repeating myself, I probably am. Why? Because you need to understand this to know how to use it. I said this earlier. Yes, free products sell paid products. Paid products pay for free products. Look at the two arrows. This is like the circle of money. In fact, I remember doing economics when I was an insurance broker, right? Business economics. There's a thing called Business Economics Continuum. And I created an acronym. It was PIG-DIES. I can't remember what all the words were in the Business Economic Continuum, but the acronym was PIG-DIES, and that's how I remembered all the things in the acronym. It was like a circle. This reminds me of the Business Economics Continuum, but this is the circle of money. So imagine, like, you go to a cinema, yeah? Overpriced snacks at the cinema pay for the loss leader, the movie. Okay, cinemas don't make money on the movies because they cost them an absolute fortune. They make the money on selling you overpriced food over the counter. Loads of it, yeah? Free refills on drinks at restaurants means they can charge more for the drinks because the next one is free. Kids eat free meat means the adult meal is overpriced, or it might mean that the drinks are overpriced, or it could even mean that there is some other upsell once your kids are inside the restaurant, yes? Credit cards are probably the best one. It's just free money. Those who don't pay back the free money fast enough prop the whole thing up. In fact, no, they're not just the ones who prop them up, because businesses pay the card fees so customers can spend their free money on their credit cards, money they haven't even earned yet. Does that make sense? You get a free phone with a 2-year contract. You get a free upgrade after 18 months with another 2-year contract. In fact, here's a great one. Who's been to a nightclub where only the men pay and women getting free? What the hell? Exactly. How did they get away with that? It's genius, isn't it? Yeah. Guess where all the men want to be? Where all the women are. And guess where all the women want to be? Where they can get into a premium nightclub for free. Let the women in for free attracts the men, and the paying men will pay double knowing where all the women are. Because why? Because men are like dogs. Let's be honest, yeah? Yes, so let's think about this. That's a great example. I don't know if you can get away with it anymore. I'm pretty sure I've been to loads of these nightclubs when I was younger. But who are you going to give stuff for free? The person who needs your core offer, or the person who can attract loads of people willing to buy your core offer. Does that make sense? If you're really, really rich, a high roller, you can get a $5,000 a night suite at a 5-star hotel, 100% free in Las Vegas. Why? Do we even need to answer this? Free products sell paid products. Paid products pay for free products. Are we seeing this? Yes? Who gets you free stuff? We did this a second ago. What's free? Any product that entices your ideal prospect to pay for your core offer now or in the future. Who gets you free stuff? Anyone who will eventually buy in one way or another. But let me tell you a story. I shop at a supermarket called Lidl, Lidl, right? Why? Not because it's the closest, not because it's the cheapest, not because it's the best food, not because they have everything we need. In fact, they don't. My missus also has to go to Aldi and to Asda to get everything that we need, right? So why do we go to Lidl every single Saturday? Because they have an app. And every week you get free stuff on your shopping list to collect for free. My missus loves the free stuff. I've rationally told her, right, tried to explain to her that it costs more in fuel to travel all this way for free donuts, okay, rational doesn't come into it. She wants something for free, and we go there every single Saturday and spend £200 to £300. If they stop the free gifts on the app, right, these tiny little free gifts that they give away, we'd go elsewhere. That's the power of the right free gift. It doesn't need to be expensive. It just needs to be free. And it needs to be free for the right person, your ideal prospect. And my missus is their ideal prospect. Okay? Who's ever heard this before? They can't make a profit on this. This, you might actually learn something really helpful from here. Who's heard this? If you ever buy anything, right? Have you ever been to one of these big department stores, or you've seen a TV advertisement, buy anything and say, they can't make a profit on this. How are they making a profit? Like, imagine you go to a supermarket like Walmart or Asda or something like that, especially because they have a mega cheap deal advertised on TV. I'm trying to think of one. I tell you one, right? What they do in the UK every single year, they advertise kids' school pants, right? Trousers, not pants, underpants, trousers. I know you don't call them pants in the US. They sell kids' school trousers for £2, right? And you know they can't make a profit on it. And do you know what they do? They run TV ads for it as well. And people usually wrongly say that's the buying power of big businesses, but it's not. It's a loss leader. You know, like we talked about lead magnets before. Okay, well, they call them loss leaders. They sell items at a loss. So you come into the store and spend money. Asda, Walmart, Tesco, huge superstores do this all the time, right? You'll see an ad for something on TV that's like says it's 50p, and you know, and I know, and everyone else in the world knows that it's usually a fiver. It's usually £5 or £10. Yeah, that's the supermarket hitting you with a loss leader. They don't have to think hard about the ad because the product is £5 everywhere else, and you can check everywhere else and see it there for £5. So it just works, which means people react to the ad in droves. They don't need to be created. All right. So every single ad does its job with a loss leader and gets you through the door spending money. It's not about the making money off the products. It's about getting you into the store to spend money. Does that make sense? Yes, viral ads do cost us. Yes, exactly there. That's a great actual point, right? Rather than spending a fortune on a viral ad campaign, yeah, they sell a product at a loss, advertise it, and a large number of people visit their stores all over the place for the bargain. What do those people do once they get inside the store? Buy more stuff at full price, and the supermarket makes a profit and gets new customers who keep coming back. Now, I predict something here. I predict that eventually supermarkets will be running TV ads, giving away free items, but they'll be placed right at the back of the store in the farthest, least accessible corners, limited to one per customer. But if the free items entice you into the store, you'll likely spend money. My mate had a cafe, actually. I think it's in one of my books. I think it's in one of my books. I don't know which one. But my mate, he had a cafe, yeah, and I talked about this in my book. And he struggled to fill it. And I suggested putting up a sign offering free coffee, then placing a small sign inside the store that reads free coffee with every purchase. So we put a big sign up in the window, free coffee. But when they come in, it says free coffee with every purchase. He's packed every morning and lunchtime now. Absolutely packed. Yeah. In fact, have you ever noticed, right, talking about cafes, have you ever noticed how ridiculously cheap the cafes are in giant supermarkets? You ever noticed how they're always brimming with customers, usually carrying loads of supermarket shopping bags? Have you ever noticed that you could actually go in and buy the food, but it costs you more than at the cafe? Yeah. And have you ever noticed that they're always positioned in the furthest corners of the supermarket? Like if you've got an upstairs, the cafe's upstairs, it's at the back, up the stairs or up the lift, go to the back, you're overlooking the stall. If it's on the same side as the entrance, it'll be as far away from you as possible. If they can place it in the right back corner of the supermarket, they will. You have to walk past everything they sell to get there. You just saw their most profitable loss leader. This is why every supermarket allocates valuable floor space to a cafe that sells underpriced food at break-even point, or in some cases, even at a loss, because it gets people into the store spending an absolute fortune. It's cheaper than advertising on TV. Generates customers day in, day out. Morrison's in the UK. Absolutely awesome breakfast, cheap as chips. Yep, you get in there and you end up buying stuff. Works brilliantly. Right, so here's an example of how powerful concept of free can be. Yeah, Amazon global sales skyrocketed simply by dropping shipping fees to free. Yeah, yet in France it didn't work. Why? Okay, this is an old one, this, but it turns out that the shipping was mistakenly set at 1 franc, around 20 cents at the time. Yeah, that tiny cost made all the difference. Once it was corrected, once they spotted it and they corrected it to free, sales in France also took off. Free is not just a cheap option, it fundamentally shifts how people see the value and make decisions. When something is free, we stop calculating the cost and act on impulse. Does that make sense? Yes? Here's another one. Absolute brilliant one, this. Don't know how old this one is. I think this is in Robert Cialdini's book, Influence. But researchers found that when Lindt truffles were priced at 15 cents and Hershey's Kisses at 1 cent each, most people opted for the Lindt truffles at 15 cents, right? Because they're just nicer and they're better and all the rest of the stuff, right? When they dropped both prices by just 1 cent, making the truffles, okay, the Lindt truffles 14 cents and Hershey's Kisses free, suddenly nearly everyone chose the Kisses. The price difference was exactly the same. It was 14 cents. Rationally, nothing had changed. Nothing. But the moment Hershey's Kisses became free, it sparked a rush of excitement. This is known as the zero price effect. Free doesn't just lower the cost, it transforms our perception. Does that make sense? It makes us feel like we're getting a gift. Remember why I shop at Lidl, yeah? I spend several hundred a week for free stuff I would probably never buy. Okay? Free removes all perceived risk and creates an emotional thrill, which is why it can outsell even a better deal. Yeah? Me and my little girl, actually, right? So my little girl is nearly 8. I had to think then, but she's nearly 8, right? But she still can't talk. So she's got autism, she still can't talk. And I always say, I want. So this is how we kind of communicate back and forth. So I always go, I want. And she tries to let me know what she wants. So her favorite is ice cream car, right? So I'll say, I want, and she'll go, ice cream car. So then it's like, this means I want ice cream from McDonald's, right? So recently they started putting stickers on the food where you can peel off and get free stuff. You win free stuff at McDonald's, yeah? Lorna, my missus, now comes with us every single time. So she can peel the stickers and see if she's won. Right, guys, she doesn't even eat McDonald's, but she loves the free stuff. Now, I've got about 10 coupons for free food in my car I'll never use, but she loves to win. This is it. Free is super powerful. Okay? So this is one of my one-on-one consulting clients. So I probably have about 10 consulting clients that I do one-on-one consulting for. Now, he aimed to increase, right? So basically, what happened was we aimed to increase their sales, okay, to new clients. He'd already offered a 75% discount, but it didn't really work, okay? Didn't impact total sales volume. So he'd gone out, done that, he'd put a discount out there, but it wasn't the gold rush that he'd expected. Why do you think that was? Why do you think 75%? So he come to me and said, look, we've tried to do a 75% discount. It's not made any difference on sales. We're not making any more money. Why? Well, people might think, why is it so cheap? Is something wrong? Do you know what I mean? Now, when he brought this to me, we reframed the offer. All right. Now, we sat down and we chatted about this for a bit. And we get 9 months free when you pay for 3 months up front. It felt totally different to the customers. And sales skyrocketed. From that difference, it's the same deal. He received a load of money up front, right? Rather than still having to space it over a 12-month period, and customers flocked. Free feels like a gift. It eliminates risk, generates excitement, and feels like a bonus. Although the number remained the same, the perception was different. Remember, it's not just about the numbers. It's about how it feels. That's why offering something free can be much more powerful, okay? Much more powerful than even a huge discount. Does that make sense? Yeah? Same client. Same one-on-one consulting client. We had an offer, right? Pay for 3 months, get 9 months free, then continue at the regular monthly fee after the first 12 months. It was a solid deal. It did brilliant, yeah? But we decided to push this a little bit further. So our second offer was pay for 6 months and get 6 months free. So you're probably looking at that thinking, that's a worse deal. Now, this might seem like a bigger initial cost, but there's a twist. Every year thereafter, customers paid for 6 months and enjoyed 6 months free, and it renewed at this price every single year forever. The result? 70% of customers picked the 6 months plus 6 months free over the 3 months plus 9 months free offer, massively increasing lifetime value and upfront cash flow for my client. Their first years, it was like getting on twice as many customers because they were paying for 6 months up front. The second year wasn't quite as good, but it increased lifetime value because customers don't stick around forever. Okay? It was because psychologically, okay, this deal felt like a long-term partnership rather than a short-term gain. Now, this example shows the power of perception and how a well-framed free offer can improve customers' commitment and drive business growth. Does that make sense? Yes? So, he did 75% off, no huge change in sales, yeah? Then we did 3 months up front and 9 months free, then standard monthly after a year. Then we added 6 months up front and 6 months free, and we grandfathered them in at that price. Had we said half price for annual, sales would not have been as good. But 6 months up front plus 6 months free smashed it. What made the 6 plus 6 months free offer stand out to customers? What do you think? Because customers are looking past the initial price tag. Great answer. Yes. They're considering the long-term benefits. Brilliant answer. With the 3 plus 9 offer, customers receive a great deal in the first year, but full price in year 2. Brilliant answer. Yeah. That's a one-off advantage. It is a one-off advantage. On the other hand, the 6 plus 6 months free offer locks in lifetime 50% discount. Yes. Or we don't call it 50% off. We call it 6 months up front, 6 months free. This feels like a win every single year, not just once. Okay? That is what you guys have just said is pretty much exactly why I think it won as well. We don't know. We can't test why. We just know it did. It's not just about saving money up front. It's about the ongoing fairness and value. Despite the high upfront cost, the fairness and the lasting value of the deal made it more appealing. Okay? Customers felt they were getting a better deal over time, which boosted sales and lifetime value for the business. You're starting to see how this might help your business, yes? How this might work with you and your company. So what next? Okay, so this week, I want you to spend a week just searching for free. All right? What I mean by this, right? So let me give you an example of one of these. So one of my clients, a PVC window company, yes? PVC window, I don't know if you have a different name for it in the States, but basically plastic window frames, glass windows, yes? PVC window, I think you call it UPVC windows in the States. Anyway, it was really struggling to stand out from everyone else in the local area, yeah? So everyone else in his local area were selling windows. He was selling windows. He didn't really want to reduce the prices, so we started to do some research and looking at it from a funny angle. And what we found was, right, we found an optician, right, optometrist, I think you call them in the States, in the UK that was doing free glass with every frame. So their advertisement said free glass with every frame. So I basically went to him and I said, look, there's a reason why they're promoting free glass with every frame. Why don't we do the same? So we set him up, right, to offer free glass with every window frame. Guys, sales skyrocketed, right? It boosted his sales massively. It was really, really powerful. Okay, then he asked, how can we generate more revenue from this? Like we hadn't done enough, yeah? But he does pay me every single month, okay? He's a consulting client. So we tried a few little things, right? A few little tweaks, which I won't go into. But what we did is we changed the way... we changed what they did during the installation. So when they were fitting windows, instead of just putting the glass in, they'd ask, what type of glass do you want, right? So at first, he gave everybody the glass they wanted. So it didn't matter if they wanted it slightly tinted, it didn't matter if they wanted to harden, it didn't matter if they wanted to double glazed, and all the other stuff that he could offer, right? And I don't know the full list of what it was, right? So we changed it. He called one of the options free double glazed glass, yes? That was the free glass they already had. So he's like, right, you've got the free glass. This is yours. We can put this in for free. It won't cost you anything else. Then he had 2 or 3 other options of glass. Okay. Now he had about 5 or 6. And I was like, no. We take this away. We don't need too many. We don't overface them, right? And we went with 2 or 3 different options of glass. that people could choose to upgrade to, right? That created an upsell after the deal was already made. People came to him because of the free glass, but many of his customers upgraded to the better glass anyway. Revenue and profits increased even further. Okay? He got to the point where he was selling his windows for more than before, but people still came because of the free glass with every window frame. So you get free glass with every window frame. I want you to think like this. Yeah? I want you to think like this week. I want you to look at this. I want you to think like this. Okay? About your business. Start looking at it a little bit different. Look at how other people are doing it. Look how big companies are doing it. Think about how can we implement something that sounds free in our business. Right, now back to the subject. Yeah, so basically I want you to focus on looking for free for a week. Don't want you to do anything. Okay, think about things like, why do petrol stations give free air? Why do supermarkets spend millions on land to create free parking? Why do businesses give free consultations? Why would a $500 an hour lawyer give the first hour away for free? Why would a locksmith do free call out? Why would a plumber do a free call out? Spend a week looking for examples. Pay attention everywhere you go. Then spend the next 3 weeks before our next meeting implementing free into your local business. Yes? We'll review the free you've implemented next month. Sound good? Yes? Absolutely awesome. Right, let's jump on and let's hit some questions.